All right, moving on to our next Patreon request. This one comes from Mitchell Oric, who asks, um, "What if Guts from Berserk existed in Westeros, basically the Game of Thrones universe?" So yeah, as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the third tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started with the video. With a confession, actually, that I think may or may not be a hot take. Honestly, I don't know how people are going to handle this this thought process I'm about to go into. I've been rewatching Game of Thrones on Max, and I have got to be honest with you all. I think it was a show carried by good actors, which is funny because I've always said like Emily Clark was carried by Game of Thrones because you see her I don't know if it's bad scripts or whatever, but she has had a slew of movies that have not been great. And I always said like maybe Game of Thrones carried her, but looking back at Game of Thrones now, I'm kind of like of the mindset of, was the show just always mid? And like the actors were just that damn good, because you can have that. You can have mid-tier stuff, and I mean, obviously, we all know the 8th season was ass. I mean, we can all agree that that mid-season, that final season is complete hot dog shit and arguably a war crime to some people. But I've rewatching the other Game of Thrones seasons, and I've been of the mindset of, was it ever good? Because like I've been rewatching it, and I'm like, has it just been carried by good actors this whole time? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But yeah. So barring that, we're going to talk about this. Basically, having what if Guts from Berserk was in Westeros. So we're basically going to take Guts and put him in the world of Game of Thrones. Now, the big thing is, Guts kind of, he's a big fish in a very little pond. Where I've said before, like, oh, this character is just a big fish in a little pond. No, Guts is a very big fish in a very small pond. He is going to be a fucking beast right out the gate. To whoever he serves. Because remember, we're not going to have the Band of the Hawk here. There's no Griffith or anything. I imagine Guts is either A, a wandering warrior, or B, he's going to be a mercenary. I would imagine he's more like, we have seen that before where he's been more of a mercenary than anything else. So it's going to be more of whose coin is he going to be taking the most in these situations? Like, which ones is he going to, like, whose coin is he going to be taking out of pocket for these for these missions? I would imagine, House Lannister, they pay well, and they're and Guts is no stranger to committing some kinds of atrocities. But I do also see that Guts also has kind of some moral compass. So I would imagine he would stay with the serve under the Lannisters for a bit, and then be like, nah, I'm out. Now, would he go straight to, like, if this was the War of the Seven Kingdoms, would he go fight for would he go fight for Robert? Maybe. I think that is a possibility that he would go willingly fight for the North at some point. Like, I don't know if it would be more about pay, but more about fighting, the Lannisters. Because I'd be like, again, if this is early Guts, then yeah, he's probably served under the Lannisters at some point. And I would have just imagined he would just rock the mountain shit. Like, we're all in agreement, right, that Guts would just absolutely dog walk the mountain. Like, yeah, here comes Noah's like, you can't beat me. And then Guts just fucking wouldn't even pull out his sword. Would not even bother pulling out his sword. Guts would just fucking run those hands and decimate the mountain. I think he would look at the Hound and be like, see what I did to him? Don't make me pull out this sword. Mm-mm. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't even think I'm saying anything controversial with that statement. Guts would just shit rock the mountain. Not even, like, yeah. I would even imagine that, like, Guts would I kind of imagine, like, Guts would get along with Tyrion, though. I think Tyrion would have a lot of fun with Guts. Is like, never thought a man's sword could equal the size of his cock. But yet here I am. Here I am seeing this monstrosity decimate everyone with a giant sword. He's clearly not overcompensating for anything. I also think that Jaime would probably have some sword envy when it comes to Guts if he was serving under the Lannisters. Like, he would have just so much legit sword envy against Guts. It would be hilarious. And everyone would be like, why do they call him, all the other soldiers, whether on whose side they'd be on, is like, why do they call you Guts? And Guts, and like his reaction would be, because that's what I'm ripping out of you if you keep talking to me. Okay. So Guts would definitely join. Like, at some point, I imagine he would join Robert. Not Robert. Fuck, what's his name? Oh yeah, it is Robert. They just call him Robb Stark. It's been a while. Rewatching the show, I have to remind myself of all this shit. So yeah, he'd join Robb Stark and fight alongside fight alongside the North. Would he be able to survive the Red Wedding? It's Guts. Come on. Like, this is what this video boils down to. Can Guts survive in Westeros? Yeah. Dude has taken on much worse. Can Westeros survive Guts? That's the better question we have to ask ourselves, is can you actually, survive, can this world survive Guts? Excuse me. More... What the fuck was that? Huh. Could this world survive Guts more than Westeros? Can Guts survive Westeros? I mean, can Westeros survive Guts more than the other way around? Yeah, I think my Siri went off for some reason on my phone. That was weird. Anyway, so now Guts against the White Walkers. Oh shit! That's really the only thing that's going to be any threat to Guts. Is he gonna go and take care of business against legions of White Walkers? Yeah, I imagine the White Walkers would try to dogpile him, and Guts is just using his sword and just cleaving his way through them. Now, if he was on the other side of the world, I definitely see again, he would be the mercenary until he met Daenerys. I definitely see he would Daenerys would see him as he'd just be wrecking Dothraki shit left and right. But when he meets Daenerys, it'd be Daenerys would be the closest to the Band of the Hawk. Either that or Robb would be the only two that'd be the closest to the Band of the Hawk. And either way, I do see that Guts would serve them loyally. I also would love to see Brienne of Tarth try to fight Guts, and Guts is just So again, it's not so much can Guts survive Westeros, can Westeros survive Guts? Because, dude, there's nothing. Maybe the dragons. The only threats would be the White Walkers and the dragons, but that's really it. And also, I'm not saying Guts is just gonna walk into an army of 10,000 men and come out on top some kind of Goku shit. I'm not saying that. Obviously he's not gonna solo an entire army, but I'm saying you pit him against a lot of the characters one-on-one that can fight in that universe, he's going to just fucking dog walk them. But if you put him up against having him charge 1v1000 against White Walkers, he's gonna get wrecked. But he's definitely gonna take out a lot of them. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. But you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think it would be like if Guts existed in Westeros? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, I'd like to thank Mitchell for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. And yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of this. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.